Sometimes the cruelest cuts come wrapped in love. I learned that the day my own daughter, Emily, looked at me with those wide, unblinking eyes and whispered that she wished Vanessa, her stepmother, had been her real mom all along. My heart cracked that day. But cracks don't only break, they let fire through. And mine? It was burning for justice. It wasn't just the words, it was the way she said them. Like a fact, like the sky was blue or the grass was green, as if she had rehearsed it in her head, rolling it on her tongue until it felt natural. I sat there, frozen at the kitchen table, my fork hovering above a half-eaten plate of pasta, while Emily leaned into Vanessa's side like she had found her safe harbor. I was the storm left outside. Now, before you judge me, let me tell you something. Raising a child is the most thankless marathon you'll ever run. I was there for scraped knees and midnight fevers, for tantrums in Target aisles and Christmas mornings where I stayed up until 2 a.m., assembling dollhouses with instructions written in what I swear was ancient Greek. And yet, in that single sentence, Emily erased me. It stung worse than childbirth, and at least that had an epidural. Vanessa played it well, of course. She pressed a manicured hand to her chest, feigning shock. "Oh, sweetheart, don't say that. Your mom is wonderful," she said in that syrupy tone that always sounded more like a performance than a conversation. But she didn't mean a word of it. The smirk tugging at the corner of her lips betrayed her. She might as well have waved a victory flag. Vanessa. My ex-husband's new wife. She wasn't cruel in the obvious ways. No yelling, no strict punishments. No, she was smarter than that. She bought affection with glittery distractions, movie nights with candy for dinner, shopping trips where budget was just a word for other people. She was the fun mom, the Instagram-perfect mom, the kind of woman who believed love was a transaction. The bigger the bow on the present, the deeper the loyalty. Emily was only 10. Of course she loved it. I mean, who wouldn't fall for the woman who let you eat cupcakes before dinner and stay up past midnight on a school night? But what Vanessa didn't understand, what Emily hadn't realized yet, was that when the glitter fades, it's the quiet, unglamorous love that holds a family together. The late-night math homework, the rides to soccer practice, the meals cooked when you're too tired to stand. The invisible love. My love. That night, after Emily went upstairs, I stood in front of the kitchen sink, my hands gripping the counter until my knuckles went white. Vanessa breezed around the house like she owned it, which, technically, she did. After marrying my ex-husband, she had claimed every corner of their new suburban palace with her designer touch. But in that moment, I decided something. I would not let her take my daughter's heart, too. The thing about heartbreak? Once it cools, it hardens into resolve, and mine solidified right there between the dish soap and the dripping faucet. The next morning, Emily bounded down the stairs, her backpack bouncing, her face lit up. "Vanessa said she'll help me with my science project tonight," she chirped, skipping past me. I forced a smile. "That's great, honey." Inside, I thought, good luck explaining photosynthesis when your last science experiment was figuring out which filter makes your selfie look thinner. But I didn't say it. Not yet. I let Emily go, watched her climb into Vanessa's shiny SUV, and I felt something I hadn't in a long time. Determination. I wasn't going to fight Vanessa with venom. No, that would make me the villain. I'd fight her with something far more dangerous. Truth. See, Vanessa wanted the spotlight, the applause, the title of best mom. But parenting isn't a show, it's a grind, and eventually the act would crack. All I had to do was wait, and when the cracks came, I'd be ready. That afternoon, I picked Emily up from school myself. Vanessa had promised her she'd be there, but of course she wasn't. Something about a spa appointment running late. Emily tried to brush it off, but I saw the shadow cross her face when she spotted me instead of Vanessa at the curb. "Hey, I said gently as she slid into the passenger seat. "Tough day?" She shrugged. Vanessa was supposed to come. Well, I'm glad I got to see you, I said, starting the car. Gives us more time to work on that project together. Her eyes flickered to me, confused, torn. She didn't say anything, but she didn't protest either. That night, we sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by markers and poster board. I explained photosynthesis the way my mom had taught me, like magic. The leaves are little kitchens, I told her, sketching crude green shapes. They take sunlight and water and whip up food faster than a chef on a cooking show. Chlorophyll is their secret sauce. Emily laughed, a real laugh, bubbling and genuine. Secret sauce? Hey, it works. Plants don't need takeout, right? Her giggle was the kind of sound that stitched cracks back together. In that moment, I felt it. My daughter remembering. Not in grand gestures, but in the quiet spaces where love always lived. Later, when she went upstairs to bed, I sat alone at the table, staring at our messy poster board. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. And that was enough. Vanessa might have her Instagram-worthy life, her polished nails, her curated charm, but I had something she'd never understand: the long game. Real love doesn't shout, it endures. And I was ready to prove it. Because if Vanessa wanted a war for my daughter's heart, she was about to learn something the hard way. I don't lose battles where love is the prize. And so the fire began to burn, not reckless, not wild, but steady, controlled, patient. They say time exposes everything, and with Vanessa, all I had to do was wait. She wasn't built for the long haul, not when the shine of motherhood dulled into carpool lines and last-minute school projects. She liked the title of stepmom, the spotlight it brought, but the job description, that was another story. It started small. Emily had a field trip scheduled on a Thursday. Vanessa had promised her, swore up and down, that she'd come as a chaperone. Emily had picked out matching sunglasses for the two of them, beaming like they were best friends about to star in a buddy comedy. The night before, Emily laid her outfit out neatly, shoes polished, backpack packed. She was buzzing with excitement. The next morning, Vanessa breezed into the kitchen, hair wrapped in a silk scarf, phone glued to her ear. Sorry, darling, something came up. Big meeting, can't make it. Emily's face fell. The sunglasses sat on the counter like two broken promises. I crouched down and brushed a strand of hair from Emily's cheek. Hey, I said softly, how about I come instead? I may not be as glamorous, but I can carry snacks like a pro. Her lips twitched upward despite herself. You'd really come? Of course. Who else is going to make sure you don't trade your lunch for 3 gummy bears and a pencil? She laughed, a real one. And just like that, the tiniest crack appeared in Vanessa's perfect stepmother act. Over the next few weeks, the cracks spread. Vanessa loved making promises: dance lessons, shopping trips, weekend getaways. She was less enthusiastic about keeping them. Emily would sit by the window, backpack slung over her shoulder, waiting. Sometimes she waited for hours, and each time when Vanessa inevitably canceled, I was the one who picked up the pieces. One evening, Emily slumped on the couch, clutching her soccer cleats. Vanessa said she'd take me to practice, but she's busy again. I grabbed my keys. Shoes on, kiddo, let's go. She blinked at me. But you just got off work. Aren't you tired? I smiled. I'm a mom. Tired is my middle name. She giggled and slipped on her cleats, another stitch in the seam that Vanessa had tried to rip apart. Vanessa noticed, of course. She wasn't stupid. She saw the way Emily leaned into me again, the way her laughter came easier in my presence. That's when Vanessa started playing dirty. At family gatherings, she would lace her words with venom, always sugar-coated, so no one but me caught the sting. Oh, Rachel, you're so practical. Emily's so lucky to have a mom who knows the value of restraint. Of course, kids also need a little sparkle, don't they, sweetheart? She'd wink at Emily, who blushed under the attention. I smiled back, calm as a cat. You're right, Vanessa. Sparkle's fun, but glitter washes off. Roots? Those stay. Her eyes narrowed just a fraction, the tiniest slip of her mask. I filed it away. I didn't need to tear Vanessa down. She was doing that herself. All I had to do was shine a light. The opportunity came during Emily's school recital. Vanessa had bragged for weeks about helping Emily rehearse. She even posted videos online, her voice chirping in the background. "Sing louder, sweetie. Let's show everyone your talent." On recital night, the gym buzzed with parents clutching bouquets and cell phones. Emily stood on stage, her ponytail bouncing nervously. I sat in the front row, my heart swelling with pride. And then, I glanced at the empty seat beside me. Vanessa's seat. When the music began, Emily's eyes darted to the side, searching. Her shoulders slumped when she saw nothing but absence. She sang anyway, softly at first, then stronger when she spotted me mouthing the words along with her. After the show, I wrapped her in a hug. "You were amazing." Her voice wavered. But Vanessa wasn't here. "No," I said gently, tucking her hair behind her ear. She wasn't, but I was. That night, when Vanessa finally arrived with some flimsy excuse about traffic, Emily barely looked at her. Another crack. The more Vanessa pushed to reclaim control, the more careless she became. She started bad-mouthing me to Emily, subtle at first. "Your mom worries too much," she'd say, rolling her eyes. Or, "Your mom doesn't understand how grown-up you are." But kids are sharper than we give them credit for. Emily repeated one of those comments to me one afternoon, testing the waters. "Vanessa says you treat me like a baby." I smiled, though my heart clenched. Well, maybe I do sometimes, but that's because I'll always be your mom. Even when you're taller than me, even when you're off to college, even when you don't need me anymore, I'll still worry. That's what moms do. Her brow furrowed. She didn't respond, but I saw the wheels turning. Vanessa underestimated one thing: consistency. Love isn't about fireworks. It's about showing up again and again until it becomes undeniable. One Saturday, Emily had a birthday party to attend. Vanessa promised to take her shopping for the perfect outfit. They came back hours later, empty-handed, Emily's face blotchy from tears. "What happened?" I asked. Emily crossed her arms. "Vanessa said I looked chubby in everything I tried on." My blood boiled, but I kept my tone calm. "Emily," I said firmly, kneeling to her level, "you are perfect exactly as you are. Clothes are supposed to fit you, not the other way around. Don't you ever let anyone make you feel less than." Her lip trembled. She threw her arms around me, burying her face in my shoulder. That hug wasn't just comfort. It was allegiance. And in that moment, I knew. Vanessa could buy her glitter and her cupcakes, but she'd already lost the one thing that mattered: my daughter's trust. The cracks weren't just showing now, they were splitting wide open. At dinner that week, Emily made a quiet but devastating declaration. Vanessa had prepared some elaborate meal, filet mignon, because apparently 10-year-olds love fine dining. Emily poked at it with her fork, unimpressed. "Mom," she said suddenly, turning to me, "can we have your spaghetti tomorrow night instead?" The room froze. Vanessa's hand stiffened around her wine glass. My ex-husband cleared his throat, pretending not to notice the daggers in Vanessa's glare. I smiled, steady and calm. "Of course, sweetheart. Spaghetti it is." Emily grinned, the kind of grin that belonged only to me. Vanessa's mask cracked again right there at the dinner table, and this time, everyone saw it. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Because sometimes justice isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as your child choosing your cooking over someone else's performance. But I wasn't done. Oh no. The fire inside me wasn't about revenge. It was about making sure Emily understood the truth. And the truth was this: glitter fades, promises break, masks slip. But real love endures. And as Vanessa's perfect act unraveled piece by piece, I prepared for the final strike. Not one of cruelty, but of clarity. Because this wasn't just about winning Emily back. It was about making sure she never doubted, not for a single second, who her real mother was. And the perfect opportunity was already on its way. The opportunity came faster than I expected. Emily's school was hosting a family night, one of those events where parents and kids built silly crafts together and ate pizza on paper plates while pretending the glue didn't smell like toxic waste. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. The flyer had been taped to the fridge for weeks. Emily had circled the date in red marker, her excitement buzzing louder than the old kitchen clock. Vanessa promised, no, swore, she'd be there. "We'll make the biggest, best project, Emmy," she had said, brushing Emily's hair with that practiced smile. "Everyone will wish they were on our team." She even posted about it online. "So excited for school family night tomorrow with my girl," hashtags and all. The night came. Emily wore her favorite purple hoodie, the one with little stars on the sleeves, and she clutched a bag of glitter glue like it was treasure. We arrived early, the gym buzzing with laughter and folding chairs. Emily's eyes darted to the door every few minutes, waiting. 7 o'clock, no Vanessa. 7:15, still no Vanessa. By 7:30, the room had filled with families leaning over craft tables, laughter spilling everywhere. Emily's shoulders slumped. She chewed her lip, blinking hard. I touched her hand gently. "Hey," I whispered. "You ready to start?" Her voice cracked, but Vanessa said, I smiled softly. "Then we'll just have to make ours twice as good. Come on, kiddo, we've got secret sauce." She frowned, confused. "Patience, humor, and way too much glitter," I said, wiggling my eyebrows. Her giggle broke through the disappointment, small but real. And just like that, we got to work. We cut and glued and glittered until the table looked like a craft store had exploded. Emily's laughter grew louder, brighter, until other parents started glancing over, smiling at us. When the principal walked by, she chuckled. "Looks like you two are having the most fun." Emily's eyes lit up. "Yeah," she said proudly. "Me and my mom make the best team." Those words, "me and my mom," were worth every crack, every heartbreak, every battle. Of course, that was the exact moment Vanessa finally walked in. High heels clicking against the gym floor, hair perfectly styled, makeup flawless as always. She carried a designer bag like she was walking into a board meeting, not a school gym. "Emmy," she sang, striding toward us. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was awful." Emily's smile faltered. "We already started." Vanessa leaned over the table, inspecting the mess of glitter and crooked edges. Her nose wrinkled. "Oh, sweetheart, this looks homemade." Emily stiffened. "That's because we made it, together." She glanced at me, her chin lifting a little. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Vanessa forced a laugh, trying to mask her irritation. "Well, maybe I can help polish it up." But before she could even sit down, the principal called for everyone's attention. Families proudly held up their creations. Emily grabbed ours, a lopsided but colorful solar system with googly eyes glued onto the planets, and raised it high. "Wow!" the principal exclaimed, picking Emily's project out of the crowd. "Now that's creativity! Great job, Emily!" The room applauded. Emily beamed, her cheeks glowing. She leaned into me, not Vanessa. Me. And in that moment, Vanessa's carefully painted smile cracked wide open. She clapped stiffly, her eyes cold. After the event, as we packed up, Vanessa pulled me aside. "You think you're so clever, don't you?" she hissed, voice low enough that only I could hear. I tilted my head. Clever? No. Consistent? Yes, there's a difference. Her jaw clenched. "Emily adores me. You can't change that." I smiled, calm as ever. Adoration fades when it's built on broken promises. Love doesn't. That's the difference between us, Vanessa. I show up. She had no reply. That night, back at home, Emily curled beside me on the couch, her project clutched to her chest. "Mom?" she asked softly. "Yeah, baby." Her eyes glistened. "I'm sorry about what I said before, about wishing Vanessa was my mom. I didn't mean it. Not really." My throat tightened. I brushed her hair back and kissed her forehead. "You don't have to apologize, Emily. You're allowed to love her. But I'll always be your mom. No one can ever take that away." She nodded, snuggling closer. "I know, you're the real one." Tears burned my eyes, but I held them back. Because this wasn't about me. It was about her finally seeing the truth. The weeks that followed sealed it. Emily no longer rushed to Vanessa with her secrets or her excitement. She came to me. When Vanessa tried her usual tricks, promises of shopping sprees, late-night movies, Emily would smile politely, but then turn to me, asking, "Mom, can we do spaghetti night instead?" It wasn't a dramatic battle. It wasn't fireworks or shouting matches. It was quiet, steady justice. The kind that resonates because it's real. Because it's what happens in homes every day when the shine of performance fades and the truth of love endures. Vanessa still tried, of course, but she'd already lost. Not because I outshone her, but because Emily saw with her own eyes who stayed and who vanished, who loved quietly, consistently, without applause. And that's all I ever wanted. Sometimes the cruelest cuts come wrapped in love. My daughter's words once broke me, but cracks don't just split things apart, they let fire through. And mine burned not for revenge, but for justice, for truth, for love that endures long after glitter fades. Emily chose me, not because I fought, not because I schemed, but because real always outlasts fake. And when she called me the real one, I knew. Justice had already been served. Because sometimes, the sweetest victory is simply being seen for who you are. The mother. The constant. The one who never left. And no stepmother in the world could ever take that crown away.